All right, so take two of the new Prison Wallets fucking long distance recording attempts. I'm Keith and this is Ray. How you doing, Ray?
I'm all right.
Yeah, so it's been ages since, so we do our normal thing where when I'm in Toronto, we record a bunch of episodes and then we put them out slowly. But ever since coronavirus happened, it's been real slowly, like crazy slowly. And they're like really long commentaries and stuff. So we were thinking, why not try to do some shorter episodes? And for the first time ever, try to do it long distance, do it over Zoom. So hopefully this episode doesn't totally suck because this is our first test of doing a Zoom episode.
It should be interesting.
Yeah, we, like I was saying in our first attempt of this episode that failed, is we always used to just do these in person just because it's, more fun or whatever. But now that Corona has locked everything down, you're in Toronto and I'm on the East Coast, and I've been just hanging out with some of the other Toronto peeps, like our Scott Pilgrim episode that's coming up, the two guests we had on that episode. I've been hanging out with them and just playing Jackbox and shit. And it's easier than I thought. Like, this is it's less weird than I thought it would be doing these Zoom things. It's not quite the same as being there, but it's sort of close. So we're like, well, let's just try to do a podcast. Fuck it. And we're also on the free version of Zoom that I'm pretty sure we only have 40 minutes. But that's a good excuse for us to keep our episodes shorter for this run. Because if the Zoom shuts down, then we know we're finished. We know it's over.
Should be all right.
So yeah, I thought since our last state of the prison wallets was about a year ago, and it was a different goddamn world. So I thought maybe we'll just because it's like when the COVID shit started, everybody was doing podcasts about like what COVID has been like for them. I kind of thought I guess we missed the boat on that one. We never got around to doing that with prison wallets. But even though it's been months and months, nothing is better. Everything is still fucked. So I think we can still give a fucking COVID update, and it's completely appropriate. So so since you're in Toronto, I mean, Canada's got these different hot spots. Like Quebec is the worst. Like Montreal and shit is totally fucked. But Toronto isn't great from what I hear. So how are things going?
It's it's different. It's hard to explain because a lot of people here are following protocol and they're wearing masks, and TTC has this weird. They're saying it's mandatory to wear masks on all TTC vehicles, but if someone wants to get on without a mask, they're not going to kick them off or fine them. So it's not mandatory at all. It's a poor use of the word.
Yeah, it seems lucky just being in Canada. I'm sure we got our share of dickheads, but not like the fucking States where everyone's having a civil war over if they need to wear masks and if they're allowed to reopen all their bullshit.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I've been watching on TikTok and on Twitter and stuff, watching videos of Karens, and it's like the funniest shit ever. It's just ridiculous.
It really is. Yeah, so the only people I guess I can go by are my other Toronto friends, but so my friend Mike, who he's in our upcoming Scott Pilgrim episode that's coming out eventually, he's just been in his condo for so long. He orders in groceries. He leaves once in a while to go see his girlfriend, but I'm just like one of these things we thought was going to be, it'll be 6 weeks, maybe it'll be 8 weeks, and it just never fucking ends. And then you hear these reports about things getting worse every time they open up stuff.
Right.
This is The Stand. This is some fucked up shit.
It's funny because Angela has left the apartment, I don't know, a dozen, maybe a little bit better than a dozen times since March. My eldest, Caleb, has left the apartment, a bunch of times, but not for long periods or long stretches or whatever. Me, I've been out I didn't stop. I was going to and from work when it was real bad, when we were getting, between 500 and 800 cases per day. I was still having to go to work because my job is as such where I have to be there. But, and it was funny too because TTC was like a ghost town. I would get on the train and there'd be me and maybe 6 other people in the whole train.
Man.
And now it's right back to normal.
Yeah, it's such a I guess it's weird too because it is it's a ghost or some shit. You're just rolling the dice. You might be fine, you might not be. but you'll never know. That's what's so like super creepy.
Yeah, you don't know until 2 weeks, and then it's hard to pinpoint what happened.
And yeah, it's definitely all relative. Like obviously early on, Italy was super fucked, and then recently it was like Florida. Florida had like 10,000 cases in a day or some shit.
6 days in a row they had that.
It's so fucked. And then what's weird is there's certain cases that sound bad on the surface but turn out to be better. Like our friend Brad, he was about to come back to Canada, all set to come back to Ontario, and then COVID happened and he got stuck in Japan. They wouldn't let him leave. So basically he got to extend his Japanese visa because no one's allowed to leave, and he's not in Tokyo. He's in like the fifth largest city. And he said it's like, you got to wear a mask and it's somewhat creepy, but it's better than Canada. So he gets like a free trip to Japan kind of, and it's like weirdly better there. And it's like, that sounds so weird. You'd think being over there would be worse, but it's like somehow North America has like a worse version of COVID or some shit. It's weird.
Right. So what have you been up to? I mean, I know that you've been busy and whatever doing your writing podcast.
Yeah, so well, my case with this COVID shit is so weird. Where so we're both obviously from Fredericton, New Brunswick, which is just this tiny little city in a tiny little province in Canada, and it's one of like I felt lucky at first when COVID happened because it's amazing here. Like it's one of the lowest rates in the world. I haven't checked lately, but last time I checked, we had like 150 cases total. I'm pretty sure right now we have none. Like it's just amazing because it's nowhere. There's no reason to come here, so there's not a lot of through traffic. So I was like, wow, that's lucky. Like I'm cynical about my hometown, but I was like, this is like the God teaching me a lesson. Like you should respect your hometown because now it's amazing and there's no germs here. But I've just been slowly losing my mind in other ways because I'm stuck in like my parents. It's weird. They have money, but their properties are all just old, weird houses. And it's like in the winter, we had rats everywhere, and that was creepy. And then they left when it got warm, but then bed bugs showed up. And it's like, oh my God, that's horrible too. And it's just like all this stuff is just like, and my brother's schizophrenic and I hate him. And I'm just stuck here. And it's like, it's so weird. Like I'm trying to be thankful that I'm in this province where everything is like, you're supposed to wear masks and shit, but I mean, it just doesn't matter here. Like no one has it. So everything's pretty normal. It's just my shitty home life that sucks and I can't escape it because anywhere else I go in the world is worse than this. So yeah, I've just been trying to hold it together and hence very few episodes of the Prison Walls because I'm just like, oh, I was amazed even just to learn that about myself, how much I liked just going for a long walk to a coffee shop across town and then editing a podcast at a coffee shop. And then suddenly there were no more coffee shops and there's nowhere to go. And I'm just stuck at home. And the last thing in the world I want to do is work on shit. So I did it. And here we are. But I really can't complain. Like that's the worst part is that I know I'm not appreciating that I'm in this COVID-free, beautiful little part of the world. But I'm too much of a dick. I just can't appreciate it. I can't do it. So that's what's up with me.
Well, there you go. I guess. Have you bothered watching any movies lately, or?
Oh yeah, well, so that's the other thing. So obviously the purview of this podcast is mostly movie based, and yeah, you were saying how you had some time off recently and you watched like a shit ton of movies, and I was thinking like, what have I watched? Like I watched a couple of anime movies recently just because I heard some guy on YouTube was talking about them, so I watched those. And I was like, is that it? What the fuck is wrong with me? I'm like, I haven't watched shit. Like, what else is there to do right now? I feel like I'm failing the fucking lockdown.
I've literally watched I've been off for almost a week and a half. I took 2 weeks off. And I've watched, since my time off, well over 20 movies. And it's just like, I haven't had a chance to do that in so long. One I watched, I think that you would really, really like is Guy Ritchie's new one, The Gentleman.
Oh yeah, shit. Well, let me write that down because yeah, I always loved Guy Ritchie.
It's awesome.
And we're gonna need something to talk about on this goddamn podcast, so maybe that could be it. Because yeah, like Snatch especially, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, and then Snatch, like I was obsessed with. And then I kept up with him, but eventually, his movies, they weren't bad, but they just weren't as good, and I eventually kind of fell off. But I still like him a lot.
I think this is actually probably my favorite thing he's done.
Nice. Well, fuck, look forward to that for a future episode. Because, yeah, so that's the other thing with my creator burnout is, is yeah, since we do those long commentaries and they're just a bitch to edit, so we're thinking we'll do some shorter episodes. So let's put that on the docket. We'll have a 20-minute talk about the new Guy Ritchie movie when I watch it.
Yeah, it's pretty swell. I've watched a lot of movies like since my time off. It's been really great. So because I mean, I have a ton of movies, like a fucking ton. I got an Al Adamson box set. He did a lot of genre movies, like 60s, 70s, 80s sort of thing. Then he was murdered by, yeah, like in real life, he was killed by some guy who he hired to help him do like house renovations, and the guy like buried him under concrete after he killed him.
Jesus. Hey, did you hear about, because it was really close to here. This was like, I'm sure you did hear about it. It was a couple of months ago now, I guess. But the dude who dressed up like a police officer and had his own police car and shit.
Yeah, man.
And he just drove around Nova Scotia and killed a shit ton of people.
Yeah.
That was fucked, because that's like one province over. But it's like, it's weird that was also like Nova Scotia's corona numbers went up after that, but at the time they literally had more deaths from that one guy than they had from corona for a while.
Yeah.
That's just fucked up, because this is what I always heard. I can't remember where I read this, but or maybe there's this indie horror movie called Long Pigs that was like a fake documentary about a murderer. And I remember they said in that, like, the best way to kill somebody is don't kill anybody you know. It can't be a crime of passion. Just go to a farmhouse in the middle of nowhere, go in, kill the people, and leave, and you'll never get caught. And that's basically what this guy did, except he did it a bunch of times in one night, and then he was just at a gas station at a big stop, and the cops fucking caught him, and he went down in a blaze of bullets. But
it's sort of like an 80s slasher movie set in Nova Scotia.
Yeah, totally. And it's like, I don't remember his exact numbers, but he went to at least half a dozen different houses and killed everybody. And it's like, that one worked out pretty well. I would love to interview these people if you could do like a Ouija board just to see what the overall plan was. Like, what was the end game? Because obviously that didn't work. But it reminds me of that guy in Toronto a few years ago who just drove his car down Yonge Street trying to hit people. And he only hit like a few people, and it was really lame.
Yeah, it was actually right up by my in-laws' place.
Yeah, that's fucked, right? So I was way more proud of this Nova Scotia guy. You know, obviously it's very bad. Don't kill people. But if you're gonna kill people, it was pretty good. And he was like a 50-year-old dentist. Just fucked. It would make a good movie for sure.
So yeah, Corona's really hit the movie industry hard.
Yeah, I wanted to ask that too, because obviously we only have one movie theater in this town, and it is just dead. That's the end of that one. But
right.
Did they reopen any theaters in Toronto, or what's going on?
Not yet. Not to the best of my knowledge, anyway. I don't think it's a wise move at this point.
Yeah, well, I really like, because I think we've even brought it up in this podcast that I always worry about movie theaters. Like, I used to be a projectionist, and I saw all the back end stuff and how like they really do just make all their money off popcorn, and like it's not a very sustainable business model anyway in the modern era. And the real estate prices are fucking crazy because you need so much space. And I was always worried, like, I wonder when I'm old if there will still be movie theaters. And then Corona happened, and it's like, fuck, dude, if they're ever gonna die, now's the time. Like, they're in big trouble.
Oh, yeah. I personally, I mean, I love going to the movie theater, but I really do think that if companies want to make good money, they'll forego the movie theater altogether and start renting movies on VOD, much like they're doing now. Like, you could rent movies that are supposed to be in theaters for like $20 or $25, and then, you know, put them out on Blu-ray a month later or something like that. Blu-ray and 4K, you know, $30-$40 a pop. You're going to make your money back because people want movies.
Yeah, I heard the only one I read about specifically was the Trolls movie, but I heard it really made a shitload of money. And it's like, wow, like one of the...
Sonic.
Oh, yeah, right. Well, one of the theories, too, I heard with those kid movies is because it's like $20 a rental, but kids want to see it over and over. There's probably a bunch of parents that are like, God damn it, fine, I'll just fucking rent you the $20 Trolls movie again. Just shut up.
Yeah.
You know?
What did I rent? I rented something that was like, I rented Scoob.
Yeah. How was that?
Yeah. They really shouldn't have gotten rid of Matthew Lillard as Shaggy. Like, that's my biggest gripe about it.
I agree.
Because Everyone else is sort of replaceable except for Scoob and Shaggy.
Man, I noticed. So our Scooby Doo commentary is doing pretty good. It's got, I don't know, it's getting up there on the views. But I just noticed the other day, because I haven't been paying attention to the Prison Wallets YouTube page, the fucking babysitter commentary has got a shit ton of views. When did that fucking happen?
I've been watching it, man. I've been watching them all climb. Like, it's crazy. We've got close to 8,000 views or something like that for the babysitter, which, I mean, I know it's 8,000. I know that there are YouTubers that are getting, a million views or whatever, but fuck that. I don't give a shit. 10,000, like nearly 10,000 people watched our commentary for that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all about it. That's fucking wicked. Yeah, because I was shocked when I saw it. I'm like, that's fucking awesome.
We have a few of them like that actually that are, ramping up in numbers, and it's nice because I like that people like what we do.
Yeah, and it's just kind of a nice little, especially with that one in particular, the babysitter one, because it is just kind of proof that don't follow the trends or whatever. Just do what you like, and someone else will give a shit too.
There's a sequel that's in post production actually.
Nice.
Every single person is returning, except for, as far as I know, Samara Weaving. I don't know how the fuck they're going to do that, but
yeah, what's up with her? Did she get famous or something? Is she in other things?
Oh yeah,
is she too busy?
No, she is. Her price went up.
Man, it's always weird though. Sequels. It's always hard to get excited about a sequel because it's almost never works out. But
I don't know, because I mean, the first Babysitter was so good. I mean, if the sequel's half as good, I'll still like it.
Yeah. That's what I think. This is jumping topics a little bit, but I think that's kind of what happened with that video game, The Last of Us. How it's like a movie. It's the most like a movie that a video game has ever really been, and the sequel's just no good. And it's like it really makes me. It feels like that. It feels like a sequel that just didn't turn out in the movie world. And it's like, oh, weird. Video games are like that too now. It makes me think of like Ginger Snaps 2. It's like it's not a bad movie. There's neat stuff in it, but it's way shittier than the first one. That type of feeling.
And the third one's just a write-off.
I've always been meaning maybe we should sometime do that again, because I only watched the third one once, and yeah, it's just a weird idea of like, let's just do Ginger Snaps in colonial times for no fucking reason.
Right.
But since I've only seen it once, I gotta watch it again someday. Just
I've only seen it once as well,
and it's been so long since that movie came out, it'll almost be like a fresh viewing.
Because I literally remember nothing about it except that it was really, really bad.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things too, just I don't know, well, that's a whole different topic, but just when a Canadian movie is even slightly popular, they gotta try to capitalize. But I was gonna say about movie theaters and putting out movies like this, like, yeah, it'll be so weird if this just becomes the thing. Like I'm amazed that I'm glad, I guess, that it seems like it worked. Like people didn't mind paying $20 for a new movie, and then later it'll become the normal $8-9, and then later after that you could rent it on YouTube for $3. But it makes sense. It's just the life cycle of a movie. And it's, especially if you've got 2 or 3 people in your household, it's still cheaper than going to the theater. So
even if it's only one person renting a fucking movie, I mean, if it's $25, you're going to spend between $10 and $20 to go to the movie theater anyway before food. And then food is an arm and a leg. Like, really, it's more economically feasible to spend $25 on a rental.
Yeah, it's weird because, like, yeah, I mean, obviously I love movie theaters also. Who doesn't? Everyone loves a movie theater. But it's like I don't know if it has to go, if I thought I'd be more sad about losing them. But if Corona just keeps up and those like property prices are so brutal, they're all going to turn into condos. It's just going to happen like all of a sudden. I hope it doesn't. But if it does, at least we live in this digital age where, there's options. Because I remember the first time this happened that I really remember was what was it called? Not The Dictator, but the Seth Rogen movie about North Korea.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember the name of that either.
The Message? I don't remember what the fuck is. Anyway, but yeah, they didn't put that movie out because they got bomb threats and stuff, so they just put it out, digitally. And me and Matt rented it for whatever, $10-15, and watched it at his house. And we were like, yeah, man, that was fine. That was fun. Like, it's weird. So on the one hand, it's like, yeah, movie theaters rule and movie theaters are awesome. And then on the other hand, it's like, well, fuck them. What can you do? I have heard theories too that maybe drive-ins will come back because you can socially distance.
That'd be pretty swell. Actually, there are drive-ins open. That's become a popular thing over the last little bit. Is drive-in movie theaters. Lots of people are piling in to go see, two, three movies at a time.
Do you remember the last movie you saw at a drive-in? I think for me it was like the Ninja Turtles movie in 1990, so it's been a long time.
Wow, that's cool. I saw a double feature of Geely and Bad Boys.
What the fuck? What? Why is that the double feature? That makes no fucking.
Sorry, Bad Boys 2.
But Geely, what the fuck? Are they just like? Is that like to trick people into watching that movie?
It was brand new at the time, you know.
How is it actually? I've never seen it. I mean, everybody makes fun of it, but
I don't remember it.
because like the other movie I always think of at that time, obviously because they both had Ben Affleck, is Jersey Girl, and I went to see that in the theater, and like it's not good, but it's not bad. You know, people shit on it a lot, but it's fine.
Yeah, I really don't remember it well enough. I remember it wasn't that bad.
Right.
I mean, it could have been worse.
I'm sure it's probably they must have played that one first, right? Because
Yeah.
imagine if you watched Bad Boys 2 and then you had to sit through Geely. You're like, oh fuck. What was the last movie you saw in normal theaters before Corona shut everything down?
I can actually look. Hold on a second here.
Cool. Yeah, well, while you're checking, because for me it was Zombieland 2. And I remember at the time, I was like, you know, it's a little average. I like Zombieland 1 a lot better. But now I'm glad I went. I'm just glad that I went to the goddamn movie theater one more time before everything shut down.
The last one we went to see was Brightburn.
Oh, yeah, shit. So, I mean, it's a little further back. But, I mean, that was a good movie.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I was checking my Letterboxd. I have a Letterboxd account. I keep track of everything I watch.
Nice. Yeah, because isn't that creepy? Like, again, hopefully everything just, they fix up this Corona shit and movie theaters survive this financial pounding. But what if that's it? What if we have to tell our grandparents, our grandparents, what if we tell our grandkids someday, like, this was the last time I went to a movie theater. It was fucking Brightburn and Zombieland 2.
I saw Zombieland 2 in the theater as well. Was Zombieland 2 after Brightburn?
I think so.
Then yeah, I think that might have been the last one then.
Wow, isn't that weird? Maybe we both saw Zombieland 2 as our final film. That's weird. That's another one. I wouldn't mind rewatching Zombieland 1 also, because that's mostly what Zombieland 2 did, is it just reminded me how much I liked Zombieland 1. It was like a weird trailer to remind me about Zombieland 1.
We watched Zombieland 1 and then that afternoon went out to Zombieland 2.
Yeah, it was like, I loved how they had like the same characters, and it was like the appropriate amount of time has passed, like the real amount of time has passed between the two movies. It mostly just at the end, I don't know, by the end when they're just getting zombies to run off the building and stuff, I don't know, I was getting a little antsy. I was like, okay, let's wrap it up, movie. Little did I know, I should have appreciated that I was in a movie theater.
But I mean, I have so many movies here that, you know, I don't really care if movie theaters reopen. I mean, I like going to the movies, but I also like spending the same amount of money that I would have spent on a trip to the movies on something I'm going to keep.
And I do feel like, yeah, like Corona's going to have to be like really seriously taken care of before people will feel comfortable going to a movie theater again. Because I can't imagine doing it. It would be like, why would you take your life into your hands right now to go to a fucking movie? You know?
People are stupid.
Even it's weird. So obviously, like pro wrestling is just fucked in North America. Like it's just empty arenas. Wrestling has never been worse because you realize that fake fighting without a crowd is really shitty because like there's no energy. But in Japan, since things aren't as bad, they've started letting people back in. But it's like socially distanced, so it's only every like I think it's 1/3 capacity, and everyone's got the masks, and they're not supposed to cheer because you know it spreads droplets, so it's just a lot of clapping, and it's like, man, even this is really fucking weird. Like everything is like a little Twilight Zone right now.
That's fucked up.
And I really just thought it would be over by now. I was like, you know, 2-3 months, 4 months at worst, or I thought it would be ramping down. And it's just not. And that's fucked. So yeah, I mean, it's a new world. Obviously, everyone is aware of that. But just to give everybody the update on what's going on with us. And yeah, we still got a bunch of stuff we recorded in the pre-COVID times that is eventually going to come out, long commentaries and stuff. We got an episode about ranking the Friday the 13th movies that is coming out pretty soon. But in the meantime, yeah, we're going to do some shorter episodes. And along those lines, we've been talking for like half an hour. Got any other thoughts on your mind? I figure that's good. We could probably wrap it up here.
How many episodes do we have pre-recorded?
It's quite a few still. Actually, hold on. I'll edit this out of the thing, but I can check. Probably take me a long time to actually edit them all, but they'll just slowly, like, this is kind of a neat idea if we put out these shorter ones, on a more regular basis, and then it can just kind of slowly drip out the longer ones. We got 16, but one of them is that music video one that sort of sucks. So probably we'll say 15. We got 15 episodes.
That's cool. How close is the Friday one to being done?
Pretty close. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's that one too. It's like it was like half done, and then my laptop broke, and I was already just like hanging off the cliff by one finger of like, I just hate sitting at my computer in my house and editing shit. I just hate it. And then I just start over, and I was just like, oh. But it is a great episode. It is really good. I think people are going to like it.
I'm looking forward to hearing that.
So yeah, stay tuned. Stay tuned for that, because that's coming out soon. And then after that is Scott Pilgrim, which is also delightful.
Cool, yeah. I want to hear that one as well.
Cool. So let's see. What was our fucking sign-off shit? Just go fuck yourself?
Well, first we mentioned the social media.
Yeah, I guess we should do that. Where can we find you on Twitter and such, and Instagram?
Twitter and Instagram at BoraHero77. And then, of course, there's you.
Yeah, and I'm Keith McNally on Twitter. I started an Instagram for my writing podcast, Novel Pod. And I also started a Buffy podcast just this week. So it's on the Prison Wallets YouTube channel. But if you're looking for the podcast, just search Does Buffy Suck? And we're just watching old Buffys, and we're like, hey, does this suck or does this rule? Prison_Wallets_pod. Which one is that? Is that the Twitter or the Instagram?
That's the Instagram.
Right, and Podcast Prison is the Twitter, yeah.
Right.
Cool. So go look us up, do all the shit, whatever, tell your friends.
So like, subscribe, rate, review, all that happy bullshit. And I'm being distracted by titties, so I guess we should cut this off.
Great. So yeah, you get to do that. I'm going to edit this podcast and put it up. I'm going to put it up tonight. So we'll both have, it's equally fun, I'm sure. But we'll both be doing this evening.
All right. Well, we'll do this again soon.
Cool. So yeah, I guess that's that. I guess we could just keep blabbing, but you got titties, so I guess I'll just end this call, and that's that.
Right on. Fuck you all.
Yeah, I think this went pretty good. Seemed good to me. Awesome. All right, well, enjoy.
All right. Later, everyone.
Adios.